Just because you and I don't like each other doesn't mean I'm not a perfectly normal human being.
That's right. The fact that I can't say anything good about you is irrelevant. That no one can say anything good about you is the point.
You don't know me.
Okay. Let's get up close and personal, Britt. Why can't you let Sabrina and Patrick be happy?
Be adorable. Sweet young couple who only have eyes for each other.
Your table, Dr. Drake, just as you requested.
Thank you very much.
This is lovely. Thank you.
You're welcome. There you go.
You realize this is our first date, right? If you don't count the nurse's ball.
Well, it is worth the wait.
How am I coming between Patrick and Sabrina's happiness? They're out on a big date, and I'm stuck here with you. And by the way, can we talk about that dress? I mean, what was she thinking? I mean, is Sabrina selling phones on the side?
I think she looked nice. In fact, I helped her pick it out.
Of course you did. Because as the whole world knows, every gay man has perfect taste.
Okay, girl, you went from insulting Sabrina to Patrick to me in 5 seconds flat.
Your point is?
You're a britch.
Okay, you keep calling me that, but what does it mean?
Brit plus bitch equals britch.
Boy, Dr. Drake, how extravagant.
Only the best for you, Nurse Santiago. To you.
No,
After everything you've done for me and Emma,
to us.
I would drink to that. Cheers. You know, honestly, I haven't given you a lot to laugh about lately. I just want to say that you've been amazing.
Oh.
Very seriously, you've been sweet and kind, and you love my daughter, and she loves you, and I feel very lucky for that. So, thank you.
Well, you are.
See? And you make me laugh. And not only do you move my ex-girlfriend in who is pregnant, but you take care of her, so I don't know if that makes you a masochist or just the most wonderful woman in the world.
I think that truly caring about someone means you're willing to get through the tough parts together.
Just because you don't agree with my assessment of Sabrina's fashion sense or yours doesn't mean that I'm a bitch. A bitch. I'm a very caring person.
Yeah, says who? Nobody. You're the least caring person I've ever met. Why you became a doctor is beyond me.
I was top of my class.
I'm not saying you're not educated. I'm saying you lack empathy. You're uncaring.
That is not true.
Oh, yeah? Nurses take bribes to stay off your service. You don't have one single friend. And little kids, they hate you. Face it, you're a bitch. The only question is why? Who made you this way?
My mother!
You have a mother. I figured you were hatched from dragon's eggs or spawned like spores from a poisonous mushroom.
Oh, I have a mother. The mother of all mothers.
What's so bad about her?
Well, for starters, she's kind of a mad scientist. She holds people against their will and performs experimental procedures on them.
Be serious.
I am. And I haven't even begun to talk about my father.
Oh, let me guess. He's an axe murderer.
He has people for that. Daddy's a deranged criminal on global scale.
So your childhood is a combination of Rocky Horror and Austin Powers?
Only not funny. In any way.
Well, of course, you're exaggerating, but I think I get the point. It's not your fault that you're a bitch.
I don't expect you to understand. I'm sure you have a perfectly adorable set of parents who dote on your every clever word, kept your artwork on the fridge, patted you on the head, and constantly told you how wonderful you are.
Not exactly. But we're talking about you. You expect me to feel sorry for you? Expect me to forgive your ruthless personality because you had a mean mommy and daddy who were never home? The only one I feel sorry for is that baby you're carrying, having you as a mother. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna start a therapy fund for it because it's gonna need it. The only thing that child has in its favor is having Patrick as a father, assuming Patrick is the father.
I have a confession to make.
Don't tell me you're a vegan now.
I'm nowhere near as kind and wonderful as you think. I had an ulterior motive letting Britt move in.
Okay, I'm listening.
I still think she's faking her condition, and Felix and I are trying to prove it. And I know how upset you got the first time I mentioned it because the lab work you saw backed up her story.
I did.
But given everything that I know about Britt, Felix and I were trying to take a blood sample and run new tests. Unfortunately, she managed to worm her way out of it.
Okay. Look, Sabrina, just because she's pregnant with my child, that doesn't mean that I don't acknowledge what she's done or understand what she's capable of.
Do you mean that? Because while we're on the subject of what she's capable of, we still don't know for sure if the baby she's carrying is actually yours.
I've been wondering from the beginning if the baby was mine. As far as I know, Britt wasn't sleeping with anybody else, so... And then she decided that she was going to have an abortion, so I didn't really think too much about it. Then she decided she was going to keep the baby. So I wanted to give her benefit of the doubt and support her. And when the time was right, we would get an amnio to find out if the baby was mine. When that time came, she got sick, so...
If she really is sick, maybe that was Britt's way of avoiding a paternity test.
Of course it's Patrick's baby. What are you talking about?
Well, we only have your word, and we know what that's good for.
You may be chasing everything in pants, but I've only been with one person the last year. Patrick!
When you ambushed him in the shower.
And how would you know that?
If you're gonna have sex in public places, expect to be seen. Of course, in the case of Patrick, it's a one-time thing.
Do they not teach basic reproduction in nursing school? Once is all it takes. This is Patrick's baby.
Okay. To quote my friend Carly, prove it.
Prove it. What is that supposed to mean?
You're the gynecologist. Do an amnio.
I'm not going to subject myself or my baby to an invasive procedure just to make you happy. I'm sick. That would put undue stress on my body.
Point taken. But as you're aware, there's a completely non-invasive paternity test now. You just need to do a blood draw and have that compared to Patrick's DNA. What do you say?
I doubt that Britt is going to agree to an amnio, especially now that she's so sick. Assuming she's sick.
Well, there's the non-invasive test. All that's needed is a blood draw and a DNA sample from you.
Okay. I've got a great idea.
We should stop talking about Britt.
Yes.
Okay.
And how about we go back to my house for some dessert?
Dessert.
Something sweet.
For argument's sake, let's pretend you have nothing to hide. That you're, admittedly selfish, possessive bitch who went after a man who initially returned your feelings, but then dumped you. For good reason, but I digress. You had sex just once, but oops, you accidentally got caught with his child. You've been acting in good faith ever since. Just trying to give your little bundle of joy a fair shake in the world. Don't you want that known? Take the paternity test. Prove that the baby's Patrick's, and you're in the clear.
I refuse to submit to a DNA test. I have nothing to prove to you.
True. But eventually you're gonna have to prove it to Patrick.